Riddle me this. Is your clutch lever bent or broken? Want to fix it? Welcome back to the CSC Garage. In this episode, we're going to show you how to remove, install, and adjust the clutch lever of your RX4. And it's easy to do with just a few simple tools: 13mm wrench, flathead screwdriver, and an 8mm socket. Let's get started. Okay, the first thing we want to do is kind of clear up some of this. I want to go ahead and get the mirror out of the way. If needed, you could use a 17mm wrench, or you can kind of bump it and then loosen it up. Get it off of that clutch perch. And then some of the cables, the wires, maybe they have a rubber strap you can peel off. Some of them might be zip tied. I'm gonna cut that zip tie. This is just to free up the clutch cable for easier access to it. Pull back the rubber boot to expose the adjusting. This is the fine-tune adjustment. The major adjustment's down at the bottom. Get that rubber boot out of the way. Going to unlock it. The larger one's a locking ring. Unlock it. And then by turning in, right now there's not much play. As I turn in the smaller adjuster, gives me more play. It's a lot more slack in that cable. I think this will be enough where I can pop the cable off here. If you need more slack, again, I'll show you how to adjust it at the bottom to loosen it or tighten it. Okay, so we have the large adjuster. It has a slot in it. The small adjuster has a slot in it. We want to align those two slots with the cable. And once we do that, I can probably just pop it out. I was pulling really hard and releasing it. Now I can take the cable off. And what that did allow me to remove this top section of the cable without removing the bottom, or without even changing the adjustment on the bottom of the cable. You got your clutch switch, pull that off, these two wires off, and now we're ready to change out the entire clutch. We're going to change out the perch and the lever all at once. If you were just changing the lever out, you can simply take the nut off the bottom and then unscrew the bolt from the top. We're going to remove the entire perch, which is the 8mm socket. So to remove the perch, we're going to back out the 8mm head screws. And now our clutch lever's off. After removing the clutch lever and all the pressure from up top, you can see there's a lot of play in the cable itself. I want to get the cable off. I'm going to use a flathead screwdriver. On the back of this arm, there's a little tab. So I'm just going to use that screwdriver to push it up, kind of pry it up, and then that frees up the cable. If you were going to remove the cable, you can do so, or if you need to make a major adjustment on the cable, you can do so here. This is the 13mm wrench, and loosen those nuts on the cable housing. Pull the rubber boot back, go ahead and take that nut off, slide it, and it pops right out. If you wanted to replace your cable, you could simply feed that cable line up through the front of the motorcycle, put the new one in, and then reinstall the same way. You're gonna put the cable in, inside cable in first. Kind of tighten up the adjusting nuts, and then reinsert the end of the cable. And then I'm gonna push down that. Might take some pliers, but you can often do it with your hand. Put the tab back down so it locks it in place. Gonna get this somewhere. Leave this a little loose while we get the top of the cable put back on and the clutch installed, and then we'll make our final adjustments. Now we're ready to reinstall the clutch lever. You'll notice the back of the clamp has a marking that says up. We'll have that facing up, following the arrow. Use that 8mm again, kind of snug things up. And then I'm gonna feel the other lever, get things kind of equal on both sides. Have that same angle. Tighten it down, and we're ready to reinstall the cable lead. Line the slots up from the adjusters. The ferrule in. Popped it in place. Reconnect the switch. And now I'm going to go back to my major adjustment. I'm going to run this in just so I can have a little bit of movement either way up top. And then I'm going to firm things up at the bottom, and then we'll come back and do our final fine-tune adjustment up top. So I can feel a little bit of the play in that cable. You want it to be sure that the arm is able to release and go all the way back. And we're there, so this is a close enough spot. I'm gonna go ahead and tighten these down. Snug those up. There's still a little bit of slack in there. It's not pulling taut on it. And now we can do our fine tune at the top. Come back up top. I want just a little bit of play in that cable. And that looks good there. Now I'm ready to lock it down. Put the rubber boot back over, and now we can reinstall our mirror. Clamp's firm, mirror's firm, and we're done. Thanks for joining us once again here at the CSC Garage. I enjoyed showing you just how easy it is to install a new clutch lever on your RX4. I always say, enjoy the ride. It's hard to do when you're riding around like this. Make your stuff right, make your stuff comfortable, and until next time, enjoy the ride.